You're listening to the Chronicles of a Gooner, the Arsenal podcast.
I'm Martin Tyler, and you're listening to Harry Symeou.
Hello and welcome back to the Chronicles of a Gooner, the Arsenal podcast brought to you by manscaped.com. As ever, I'm your host, Harry Symeou, and I'm delighted to be joined by an opposition fan. Not just any opposition fan, though. It's the brilliant Mark Goldbridge. I'm sure you all know who Mark is. I'm sure you've all seen his excellent work. Mark, welcome to the channel, mate. How are you, first of all?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me on. Hope you're well.
All good, mate. Absolutely fine. Don't know if I'm looking forward to this game. I don't think I am, is the truth. What are your feelings kind of going into this one? Manchester United come into this off the back of a really good win in Europe. Arsenal come into this off the back of a disappointing defeat in the Premier League and then a routine win, I would say, in the UEFA Europa League. How are you feeling as a United fan going into this?
I think that it's an interesting game because I think that they've done really well, Manchester United in the Champions League, and then not so good in the Premier League following on from those Chelsea games. So the Chelsea game. So I think that I am confident because I think we need to win, but I'm not confident because I think that Arsenal are not a bad side. I watched the Leicester game, and Leicester set out a certain way to play. If Arsenal's goal had been given, which I think it should have done, I don't think Leicester would get back into that game. So I think that as somebody who's not an Arsenal fan, I was there tweeting away on Sunday night that you lost. But when you watch it back, it's great that you lost, but it's not like it was a terrible performance. And I think that we did well in the Champions League, but as I said, we did well against PSG, and then we approached the Chelsea game wrong. I think it will be tight, but I think it's got a draw written all over it. But then you haven't drawn in your last 9 away games, so that gives me hope that there will be a result and that it will be a Man United win.
I mean, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, someone who's kind of faced criticism, I guess, up and down since he took the Manchester United job. Where do you stand on the whole Ole debate? And are you a fan of his? Do you think he can take Manchester United back to the very top of the English game?
I think there are United fans out there that are Ole in, and that they are very much vocal at saying, I've always backed Ole. I'll be honest, I'll say what I say. I think that's a massive amount of loyalty, which I respect, but naivety as well. I mean, I was Ole out after the Burnley game in January. I was like, that's it. Like, we've had too many bad results, too many bad tactics. And then we went and bought Bruno, and I was like, I can't be a hypocrite here. I wanted Bruno in the summer. I'd been tracking him on the channel. We'd been talking about him for about 18 months before we bought him. I thought Spurs were going to get him. I threw my toys out the pram when we didn't get him in the summer. And then when we went for him in January, I said, well, hold on a minute. I can't say this is the signing we need to do and be Ole out. So I was like, well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to give Ole another year and see what he does with Bruno. Even though I'm Ole out at this point, I'm going to give him another year because I believe in this signing. And it sounds great now because it works brilliantly, but many United fans felt that Bruno would work, and I actually predicted he'd hit the ground running, which is hard in January. So yeah, since Bruno's come in, I have been behind Ole, and I have seen an improvement. I didn't expect what we did against PSG and Leipzig improvement. I think that improvement is so good. We haven't played like that since Sir Alex. We haven't done those sort of results. Even when we beat PSG with the penalty, they should have won that game. It's a bit like you against Leicester. PSG should have beat us, but we should have beat them last week, and we definitely should have beat Leipzig. So, yeah, I'm behind Ole. Do I think he's the man that's going to win us titles? I think that's a big step to say that. Yeah. But I'm definitely behind him at the moment, and I think that. But he's got to win games like this on Sunday.
Looking at this game in particular, and looking at Arsenal in particular from a kind of Manchester United perspective, what are you, I guess, most concerned about in terms of some of our standout players or any particular areas of Arsenal's game that you think they could trouble us with this?
I'm a big fan of Xhaka, and I have been for a while. Hopefully I've pronounced that right. I think he's a fantastic young player. I remember him coming and playing against us a year ago at Old Trafford, and I think he played left wing. You should have. I mean, the funny thing is, Arsenal have had opportunities at Old Trafford over the last 2 years. You've been favourites, and then you've played really badly, and it's ended up in a draw. And we've been very happy about it. So we're the favourites this time, which is how it should be. But I do like Xhaka. Aubameyang's a fantastic striker. And also, in relation to Arteta, he sort of reminds me of Ole in our first year, whereby he clearly hasn't got the players he needs yet. But what he's doing against the big teams is he's keeping it tight and he's hitting on the break. And that worked really well for us last year against City, who we beat twice, and Chelsea. So I don't think we've seen the real Arteta yet, because I don't think he is a 5 at the back, hit teams on the break manager. You don't spend time under Pep or the player he was to be that. I just think he's being clever. He's trying to get results out of what he's got. I think you'll come to Old Trafford and you will play a back 5 and you will try and hit on the break. And that has worked against Leicester and Man City. So it worries. As I said, I can see a tight game. I can see a very similar game to Chelsea last week. And that does worry me, because we need the points, really. I know if we win, we go above you, but we had a bad start. And this league's so open, as we all know, that you want your team like you want your team. You just want to start winning, because there's a real opportunity there. And, I didn't think Arsenal could get top 4, and I didn't think Spurs could get top 4. And I think it's wide open for everybody at the moment.
It is indeed. It's been a crazy start to the season, as you've said. And, there's so many things to take into consideration. The fact that there are no fans in grounds is kind of, to a degree, nullifying home advantage. There's a number of things that are just different about football at the moment. And it's partly why things are so open, I think. In terms of, from an Arsenal perspective, what should we be looking out for? Who should we be most concerned about in the Manchester United side?
Well, I said it this morning when I just did an Ollie press conference reaction, and I said, really, there's 5 players for me that United are, those players that you can't drop, that they're banging form. They're not necessarily our best players, but they're banging form at the moment. So De Gea is playing fantastically well at the moment. Wan-Bissaka's playing really well at the moment, which is good, because Aubameyang normally plays off the left. Fred's playing brilliantly at the moment. Bruno's playing really well, and Rashford. So that's quite good to me, that there's almost not quite a spine, because it sort of goes a bit like a snake, but right back's playing well, which is where your best player plays. Goalkeeper, obviously very important. Fred, box to box, very important. Bruno, creator, and Rashford looks really good. So, yeah, we've got better players than that. Martial can't play. Pogba is, is he quite fit? I don't know. But they're the players that, for me, at the moment, make me feel confident, because we've got players in different areas of the pitch. But yeah, so they're the players I'd be worried about if I was Arsenal, because they're the banging form players for us at the moment.
Looking at it from an Arsenal point of view, I guess one of the players that I think Arsenal probably should be looking to target is Harry Maguire. He's somebody who has had a lot of criticism, not just for his on-the-field performances, but for things that have gone on off the field. And he had a little bit of a difficult time. I think there were maybe signs in the last couple of games that he's getting back to where he needs to be. But what's your overall thoughts on Harry Maguire as a player? Because I did think at the time that United probably overpaid for him. I felt like that English player premium was in force there, and that was a bit of a problem for United. But, he's somebody that I guess opposition teams look at and think that if he has one of those days, they can expose him. Is he the long-term Manchester United defensive leader in your view, or did the club make a bit of a mistake bringing him in?
It's a good question. I suppose it's probably a little bit like Pepe, in the sense that you probably overpaid for him. I like Pepe, by the way, but you probably overpaid for him. But every Arsenal fan we don't care, we want him. And I can't be a hypocrite. When we paid 80 million for Harry Maguire, I justified it by going, he's been really good in the World Cup. He's been really good for Leicester. He's English, and Liverpool paid £75 million for Van Dijk, so there's a bit of increase. He's not an £80 million centre back. He's nowhere near the Van Dijks, the Koulibalys, the Varans, the Ramos. He's not. He's a £50 million centre back, and that's not necessarily his fault. So, United needed a centre back. We've got bad negotiators. We paid ridiculous money for him. As a centre back, he's nowhere near what I thought he was going to be. I think he needs somebody like Tuanzebe next to him. He needs somebody with pace, and I think that therefore makes us weak between Lindelof and Maguire. They can have good games, and they have had good games recently, but they're always going to give goals away. I remember playing Spurs after lockdown, and Bergwijn just goes straight through them. So somebody like a Lacazette could really get could get something out of those two. I would play Tuanzebe, and I think that if Maguire has somebody quick next to him, his aerial ability, and not having to panic all the time that there's a ball over the top, would make him better. But he's never going to be an £80 million centre back. You're right. He's a good centre back, but he's not what we thought he was going to be. And I don't think it's fair on him, because I don't think he ever said he was that. We just paid that.
Yeah, agreed. And it's not always the player's kind of fault, is it? When somebody pays, it's like the same with Nicolas Pepe. People look at him and go, we paid 72 million for this guy and he's not producing. But at the end of the day, he didn't he didn't make that valuation of himself. That's what the club were willing to pay. That's what the club who was selling wanted for him. So yeah, it is always difficult when that price tag just adds that extra bit of pressure. Just finally, Mark, just a quick prediction from you. How do you see this one going? I know it's a difficult game to predict. I know a lot. We spoke about it on the 90 Min show yesterday, and we were both kind of like I'm in an ahhing about how this game was going to go. If you had to hang your hat on a prediction, what would it be?
You know, I've actually been thinking about this over the last sort of 12 hours, and I think I'm just going to have to. I think with Arsenal, it's all or nothing. If we lose, we will get, deservedly from Arsenal fans, absolutely mullered on Sunday night. So my stance is, you may as well go into it confident, because if you lose, you're going to get the banter anyway. So I think we're going to win, but I say that with total and utter lack of confidence. I don't know what's going to happen. And I said it ahead of the Chelsea game as well. You know, the referee is I forget who the referee is.
Is it Mike Dean? I think it's Mike Dean.
The referee is Mike Dean. You know,
the superstar ref.
VAR has massive. You know, VAR turns up in 3 or 4 games every weekend in the Premier League. So VAR, a dodgy tackle. This game could rest on something like that, as United, Arsenal in olden days used to be. So I don't think we're going to beat you 4-0. I don't think we're going to beat you 8-2. I don't think you're going to come and beat us 6-1 like Spurs. I think it's going to be 2-1, and I'm going to go United, obviously.
Cool. Well, I'm going to go Arsenal. I have to, don't I? So yeah, very much looking forward to that one on Sunday. Mark, thank you so much for joining me today. I know you're mega busy, so really do appreciate it. How can people find your channel and follow you on social media?
No, I appreciate it. It's always nice to actually come on and be asked questions, because that doesn't happen much when you, as you will know, doing your own channel. The United Stand. If people want to see our reaction to whatever result we get on Sunday, we'll be live on the United Stand, as we always are on YouTube.
Brilliant stuff. Mark, thank you so much. Guys, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, subscribe to Mark's channel as well. Give Mark a follow too. He puts out some brilliant content. He's one of the most renowned YouTubers out there, so do check out Mark's excellent work. And we'll be back very soon with another edition of the podcast. Until then, take care. Cheers.
You're listening to the Chronicles of a Gooner, the Arsenal podcast.
I'm Martin Tyler, and you're listening to Harry Symeou.